Hey everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Book Report, presented by The Millions. I'm Mike.
And I'm Janet.
We are going to be asking 7 millions questions to Karolina Waclawiak, who is the author of the new novel, The Invaders. It's the novel about a town in Connecticut, a kind of rich coastal town that is thrown into turmoil when some unexpected visitors arrive. It's kind of like if John Updike had a sense of humor. So here we go.
Here she is.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
I'll start it off. The first one is, what book title could also serve as the title of your autobiography?
Atmospheric Disturbances. Atmospheric Disturbances, I think, sums me up. It's kind of like weird, spooky. I tried my best.
If you could remove one scene from any book, what would it be?
One of my favorite books is Mrs. Caliban by Rachel Ingalls. It's about a woman, Dorothy, who is an unhappy housewife who falls in love with a sea monster. The one scene I would take out of that book is when Dorothy and Larry, the sea monster, basically lose touch with each other. It ends, and I would want them to stay together and live happily ever after.
Larry is a great name for a sea monster.
Yeah, and he was like very practical. He loves avocados, and he just like was doing his thing. He had a tragic life, a tragic situation happened to him, and they got together, and things were going smoothly until they weren't. And I want them to be together.
What's the book that you've changed your mind on? Like you read it and you hated it, and then read it again and liked it, or vice versa?
When I first read The Snow Leopard by Peter Matthiessen, I was so upset by it, and I felt like it was such a selfish pursuit. And I hated him as a person, and I couldn't believe he left his son to like go find inner peace. And I remember having a really visceral reaction to it. But as I've grown older, I completely understand the book now. Like, I needed to grow up to realize how important it was what he did. It's almost like I changed from being the kid to being him. You know what I mean?
If you could make every high school student in the country read one book, what would it be?
Long Division by Kiese. I guess that's how you say it. Laymon. It's so funny and so tragic, and it talks about, the civil rights movement and so many things that are so important to what's going on right now. But in such like the narrator of the book, his name is City, and he's just such an endearing, amazing, hilarious kid, and everything in the book is so heavy, but having him take you through the world is absolutely perfect, and I think it's like the perfect entrance point for teenagers to understand our time.
What living author are you most jealous of?
Okay, there's a lot of them, but I started thinking about like whose life feels super charmed to me, and you might totally agree with me or not, but Larry McMurtry.
Yes.
The idea of living in a tiny town in Texas and like having a bookstore and just doing your thing, and then writing amazing books and having Hollywood make them into amazing movies. He's like always lived, and I'm totally making this up, but he's always lived by his own rules.
I used to work at this company here in Austin, and I think we counted at one point, I think 5 people there who had named either kids or dogs after Lonesome Dove characters.
If you could pick one musician or band to create a soundtrack for The Invaders, who would it be?
My answer is extraordinarily obvious. David Lynch, his music project. Like off-kilter, haunting, and weird.
Yeah.
And then he can also direct the series or movie.
There are more than a few unsympathetic characters in The Invaders. But if you had to pick one character from fiction to punch in the face, who would it be?
Hank Chinaski.
Hank Chinaski?
Yeah, Bukowski's alter go. But I think it would be like a drunken altercation after it'd start friendly and end there.
It'd be like in a roadside bar.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I would end up having to walk home.
No, dude.
I would wake up the next morning like, what did I do? I am deeply ashamed of my behavior. I really felt for him when, during my self-sabotaging years. I was like, this guy is the guy I'm looking for. And as many women do, whether they admit it or not. And as I got older, I was like, leave that behind. I've learned. That's not cute anymore. Those years were not cute for me. So, it would be him.
Thank you so much for doing this. This has been really fun.
It was really fun. Thanks for asking.
That was 7 Million Questions with Karolina Waclawiak, author of The Invaders, which you should buy. It's out now from Regan Arts. Thank you for watching. You'll never walk alone, Janet.
You'll never walk alone, Mike.